In today's video, we are going to talk about PlayStation Plus Essential. That is the PlayStation Plus of all life, the basic one. The one that gives you online and the 3 monthly games. Well, specifically, we are going to talk about the 3 monthly games because the information has just been updated. We already have the games that are going to arrive in December, precisely and specifically on the 6th of December. One, already check it, just in case, December 3rd of 3 of December, one was wrong, the third day. 1FR, you have an active subscription to Essential or to any of the PlayStation Plus that exists today in all its flavors and colors. Well, from the third day, these 3 games, you can add them to your library and you will have them available as long as you pay for the service. When you don't pay, you won't be able to access these games. Let's talk about those titles. Let's talk about offers on PlayStation Plus. And well, let's talk about Black Friday deals too. Why not? Yes, we are going to talk about that again. In It's Take Two, you play as Cody and May, a couple who, after being transformed into ragdolls by a magic spell, have to learn to work as a team and collaborate and cooperate with each other to, well, undo this spell. It's Take Two is a 100% cooperative multiplayer game, meaning it can't be played in single-player format, yes, you have to play with someone else. You can do this in local cooperative, which is perhaps the best option to get through this video game, or you can also play in cooperative or online with certain facilities that we will discuss later. One of the most interesting things about this video game is that it serves as a review of many different video game genres. Since essentially it is a 3-dimensional platform game, but it also has many other video game genres tucked within this 3500 platform format. Since at times the game is a shooter, at times it's a 2500 platformer, at times it's a puzzle game, or a driving game, or different things. It's a bit of everything and at the same time a gigantic salad of mini games, platforms, challenges, and several other things. One won't say, or I'll spoil the game for you. What you're seeing is gameplay from the early stages of the game, just as you're seeing it right now on screen. This is how the game constantly looks with the screen split in 2. Something that is totally logical, because you're playing a local multiplayer. But at the same time, it can be a bit annoying or even a bit confusing in some parts of the game, since having the screen split this way and only seeing a vertical portion of what you're playing, often you lose perspective of the environment or don't know where to go or can't find your partner or your character, etc. Look, these are not serious problems by any means, but it is something that happens, and after 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 hours of play, it can start to bother you a bit. By the way, it's a pretty long game, if you ask me, longer than it should have been. Its Seitsu lasts approximately 15, 16, 17 hours, depending on your style of play and your partner's skills. And here one thing, there's a very important caveat to be made. This is one of those video games that assumes that both players more or less have hands. Because oftentimes you'll find yourself facing enemies or trying to solve puzzles or platforming situations that are going to make you depend on your partner. And if by one of those chances you or your partner are somewhat clumsy, well, all of this is going to end up becoming a bit of a tedious experience. Don't let its somewhat childish aspect fool you. It Takes Two can get a bit demanding at times, perhaps for very inexperienced players or newcomers to gaming. It can become a challenge. Not a big one, but a challenge that for the other player will make the game a bit unbearable. The recommendation is to play it with someone who is at your same level. The story of Dark Descent takes place on the moon of Lethe, where a human colony suffers a devastating attack of xenomorphs because someone decides to sabotage certain alien containers. For reasons that the game will reveal to you later. You are the leader of a squad of colonial marines who has to contain this alien outbreak in this colony. That's the main plot of Alien Dark Descent. The story begins from there. A quite interesting story that, at least in its early stages, will give you enough to get you hooked. Later on in the development of the campaign and so on, well, I'm not going to tell you because I'm not going to spoil too much for you. What one I'm going to talk about is the gameplay of this title, which is one of the most unique things about Alien Dark Descent. In this case, we are facing a real-time military strategy and tactics game. That is, it's a kind of commandos, to put it very simply, but with its variations and its own personality. You manage a group of up to 5 soldiers, some of whom can die, and in fact having one die can be a real tragedy because there is permanent character death in this game. Well, in this squad you have different roles, different weapons, special abilities, types of movement and other things, represented by different soldiers and their specialties. The goal of this military group is first to survive, and second to eliminate the infestation of xenomorphs that is happening in this colony. You will travel through different locations within this moon and different facilities within the different places of the moon. You will discover new characters, add soldiers to your club, lose as many soldiers, find weapons, improve your skills and so on in a very well achieved role-playing game style progression. It's not an easy title, in fact it's a quite challenging title. That will make you repeat more than once some location. The good thing is that Dark Descent has many difficulty options regarding the life of the enemies, the range of vision of the enemies, and other things that will allow you to adjust the experience to your type of game. On PC the game looks very good, on consoles one don't know so much because one didn't get to play it on consoles, and even less how it will look on PlayStation 4. What you are seeing right now is gameplay on PlayStation 5 where the game looks very good and very nice. If you like the world of Alien and you like the Alien movies, you will like this title. Because the game is very respectful and fits perfectly within the first trilogy of Alien movies. Supposedly this game happens about 20 years after the first movie, if one remember correctly. And you're going to find a lot of elements in common with the movies and the weaponry. The soldiers, the locations, even with certain machinery and other things like that. If you're not a fan of Alien, well maybe you like it or maybe not. It's a tactical game that's not bad and looks very nice. At times very dark. It's true that maybe on an in-plane switching panel or on an old LED panel you don't see the game so well, but it looks very, very good. Very good. In Temtem, players assume the role of a Temtem Tamer, a Temtem trainer who explores the airborne archipelago, which is a set of flying islands with the goal of capturing and training creatures called Temtem. Yes, it's a Pokémon clone. And while the game is exactly the same as Pokémon in its original premise, we have some important differences that make this game a different game from the classic Nintendo one. Primarily, we have online multiplayer. This title is a massively multiplayer online, a massive online multiplayer. Which means that as you progress through the story, you're going to come across other players. People who, just like you, are completing the story of the title and with whom you can exchange Temtems. Or battle, or even join forces to get through the game's campaign. One of the most interesting things about this title, the game was born directly as an online multiplayer. So the internet connection is completely mandatory. You have to be connected to the internet all the time. Because the game is connecting to the server and making you encounter other players, and so on. Regarding the combat, we also have some features to highlight about Temtem compared to Pokémon. And that is that here the battles are 2 versus 2, something we have seen in Pokémon as well, but here we can do it with 2 players, 2 trainers against 2 trainers, each trainer handling a different Temtem, which adds a certain layer of complexity and a certain layer of strategy to the game. The world of Temtem is quite large. It's much larger than any other Pokémon world that has been proposed in previous installments. And this world expands even more with competitive leagues, tournaments, and different activities within the game. Since it's a massively multiplayer online and massively multiplayer online S-Live of this, you have customization of your little house, customization of your character, clothes you can put on, you can choose the monster you want to accompany you. And you can even make a clan or a crew with other friends to play Temtem in groups if you can find people who are interested in this game. It has dungeons, and it has dungeons to explore. It has legendary Temtems to find. It has everything a Pokemon game would have, and even much more. The only thing missing from Temtem are Pokemon. Because if it had Pokemon, if this was a Pokemon game, it would be the best Pokemon game of all time. Because it has many things that Pokemon fans have been asking for a long time. Like issues with online being able to team up and go through the whole game in cooperative with someone else. And various synergies and mechanics between the Temtems that come from different classes that are great. The bad thing is that it doesn't have Pokemon, it has Temtems. Who cares about Temtems? Absolutely no one. But if you suddenly play on PlayStation, you don't have Nintendo. Maybe you're not even interested in playing Pokemon for its Pokemon, simply for the type of playable experience. Maybe here you'll find an interesting game. The cooperative type it has is also very interesting, because those are cooperatives in which you can advance with the story, whatever you want. And maybe when you join with a friend, this friend can help you carry out a certain battle to defeat a certain enemy and then disconnect, and you continue with your own thing. It's a very friendly online multiplayer. We're getting to the end of the year, and all the end of the year on PlayStation, the offers fall on PlayStation Plus. You already know these discounts that Sony gives you for hiring the service for a whole year. Well, this time we have some significant discounts, but as always we have small print in these discounts. The premium, the extra, and the essential are on discounts. Discounts ranging from 30% to 20%. And many of you have asked me what happens with those discounts. Why can't they activate them? Why can't they access these discounts? The usual problem is I'm unsure if it will affect all regions. But in many of the regions, if you already have PlayStation Plus active, they don't allow you to access this discount. Because this discount is for new users, one say. One don't know if it's like that in all regions. Because you already know there are 3 or 4 different important regions, like the United States, Latin America, Europe, and well, Asia. 1 or 2 more might change this in other regions. I'm telling you this in case you're trying to access this discount, the annual PlayStation Plus, whether it's the extra, the light, or the essential one. And you can't do it. Well, it's probably because you have an active account on PlayStation Plus regarding offers of the end of the year. In the PlayStation Store this week, we released this video on this channel, which is here, hundreds of games on sale. For Black Friday 1, recommend watching this video if you have a PlayStation. Because here one dedicate myself to reviewing all the offers from the PlayStation Store. And if you're looking for games on sale, then maybe you have to watch this video. I'll leave it right at the end of this one you're watching now. Well, what do you think? Do you like the month of PlayStation Plus Essential, or do you not like it? Ontiza 2 is a GOTY. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. One, don't know if you've played it or not. The Alien one is very interesting, really. One, though, it's not for everyone, because it's a bit of a difficult genre that everyone likes, but it's very good. And in Temtem, one lasted 3 hours in Temtem. 3 hours were enough to know what it was about and to know that one didn't like it. But hey, why not try it? Put in the comments what you think of this month of PlayStation Plus Essential, which is the last of the year. By the way, thanks to everyone who is here. Support these videos daily and monthly so we can continue creating them. While you comment, I'll leave you here. This video that you have to see with offers from the PlayStation Store. If you want to buy some different game or something like that, or know what the offer is, why not? And of course, one invite you to give this video a like, okay? Because I'm leaving now. Goodbye.